Back up. They're going that way. They're going that way, guys.
Chaos erupted outside a Miami club as Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis clashed in a heated confrontation. Punches were thrown, harsh words were exchanged, and tempers flared as the situation spiraled out of control. It all kicked off when Gervonta crossed the line, taking jabs at Crawford's family and mocking him for pursuing a fight with Canelo Alvarez. This feud has been simmering for months, but last night, it hit a boiling point in dramatic fashion. Here's how it all unfolded. Picture this, a buzzing Miami night, celebrities and sports stars packing the city's hottest club. Among the VIPs were Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis, both fresh off recent fights and ready to unwind. Initially, the two were in separate sections, but as the night progressed, their paths inevitably crossed. Eyewitnesses say the tension began when Davis approached Crawford, clearly in a confrontational mood. What started as light banter quickly took a dark turn. Davis began throwing personal insults, not just at Crawford but also at his family. The disrespect reached new heights as Davis publicly mocked Crawford's loved ones, fueling the already tense atmosphere. Crawford, typically calm and collected, initially tried to ignore the jabs. But when Davis shifted gears and mocked his pursuit of a fight with Canelo Alvarez, things took a serious turn. Davis taunted him, saying, "Canelo doesn't even care about you, man. You're just chasing a fight for a payday." The tension in the room skyrocketed as the insults became more personal, setting the stage for an explosive confrontation.
Likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and Tukulaj know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp? When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
in camp, training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March. Yeah.
That was the breaking point for Crawford. In an instant, he snapped, lunging at Davis and throwing a punch that caught everyone by surprise. Security quickly rushed in to break them apart, but by then, the situation had already spiraled out of control. The club turned chaotic, with people yelling, cameras flashing, and the atmosphere in total disarray. It's a moment that will stick with everyone, but definitely not in a positive light. If you've been following the boxing scene, you know this clash didn't happen out of nowhere. The tension between Crawford and Davis has been building up for months, sparked by a string of social media jabs and heated interviews. It all began when Crawford took a shot at Davis for not being invited to Turki Alshik's exclusive Ring Awards event in London. That comment didn't sit well with Davis. Never one to hold back, Davis fired back, accusing Crawford of chasing paychecks rather than pursuing true greatness, particularly with his controversial decision to challenge Canelo Alvarez.
Why are you retiring?
What changed?
What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened at this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby usually they're around to?
You think you might be gaining love for it though? You never know. Like, you like saying you got to walk for days.
The insults kept coming, each one more brutal than the last. This feud has been making headlines for a while, but no one saw it escalating into physical violence until now.
Bud Crawford, just won his debut at 154. Said if the money's right, we'll fight. Everybody wants that fight. What do you feel about that matchup? People saying the weight, all this stuff. How do you feel about that?
You know, everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything. And you know, like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2-3 weights less than me. But if the money is right, why not? Right? Why not? But look, I'm focused 100% on Berlanga. I know I have a challenge in front. I never overlook any fighter. So I'm focused 100% in this, and then we...
Now, let's dive into the whole Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez drama that Davis used to mock Crawford. Crawford's decision to move up to 168 pounds and challenge Canelo for his unified super middleweight titles has sparked a lot of debate, with reactions ranging from excitement to skepticism.
Tonight, Terence Crawford was Turki Alshik at the other event across town, put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turki Alshik calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comments.
On one hand, some view it as a bold move, a chance for Crawford to solidify his legacy by taking on one of the sport's biggest stars. On the other hand, critics argue that Crawford is simply chasing a payday, with little chance of actually defeating Canelo.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you'll whoop his ass.
Like, yes man type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Magdalene.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stone. It's about now.
Davis didn't hold back on this. He mocked Crawford for thinking Canelo even cares about him or the fight. Canelo's got bigger fish to fry, Davis reportedly said. He doesn't even know you exist, and here you are begging for a fight like it's your retirement plan.
It's about Errol has a metal shield and you have a glass shield. Talk about the punch resistance. What do you think of Tank's assessment, man?
You gonna see? You gonna see?
Could he get it in the future?
Too little.
I mean, you came up from 35, right?
He ain't fighting no real guys at 47.
See, okay. What about everyone's talking about Errol fighting the winner of Canelo and Jermell. Could you ever do that? Is that too much weight or?
What, 168?
Yeah.
I ain't going up there.
Right.
So you got Canelo winning them, right? Then
he fighting at 168.
The Crawford versus Canelo fight has been widely criticized as a spectacle designed more for entertainment than genuine sporting value.
A good friend, my brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better, you know what I'm saying? But, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't count him out.
Boxing pros and pundits believe Crawford should earn his shot at Canelo by facing the top contenders at 168, rather than jumping straight into a title fight. Davis's taunt struck a nerve, and that's what ultimately pushed Crawford over the edge.
For you, though, is that career defining? Is this a legacy fight for you?
Well, when I got shot, for me to change my life the way that I did and stop hanging out with the guys that I hung out with, my career started going up. And yes, this is a legacy fight for me. This is a mega fight. This is a superstar fight. This is all those in one with me and Errol Spence Jr. A lot of people, they writing me off because they say, oh, well, he's too small, or he haven't fought nobody like Errol Spence, or his resume is this, or his resume that. There's a lot of things that a lot of people can say, but on July 29th, all the answers to everybody's questions will be answered.
Fans went wild when news of the Crawford-Davis brawl broke. Social media exploded with hashtags like #SharkClubChaos, #CrawfordVDavis, and #SageBoxingDrama trending instantly. Many fans are backing Crawford, saying Gervonta crossed the line by dragging his family into the feud. Others see it as classic Tank, stirring the pot to stay in the spotlight as he approaches retirement. Let's be real, Gervonta isn't just throwing hands for fun. He's building hype, and it's working.
Retire.
What changed? What made this shit trash? Garbage.
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like the talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby usually they're around to?
You think you might regain the love for it though? You never know. Like like say you got to cross today.
But here's the kicker: Gervonta isn't stopping with Crawford. Word on the street is he's in talks for a massive rematch with Ryan Garcia, a jaw-dropping $150 million deal backed by none other than Turkey Alashik, the same guy who's been bankrolling some of boxing's biggest spectacles.
Hopefully I fight Ryan again. If they're not on some host, I text that ass again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, and that, stop it, knock it off, cuz. Stop it. Tell them send that bag, and I'm coming. And I'm,
Turkey's involvement isn't just about the money. It's about bringing that big show energy to every fight he's part of. He's the mastermind behind these crossover bouts and super fights, and he's got a hand in both Crawford's and Gervonta's latest moves, making sure the biggest events stay on track.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing, fight hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean,
$100 million. I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
Fans are buzzing about how Turkey's influence is shaping the sport, making every fight feel like a blockbuster event. Whether it's Crawford chasing Canelo or Tank heating up his rivalries, it's all part of a bigger plan to dominate the headlines and keep fans hooked. With Gervonta looking to go out with a bang, you can bet we're in for some serious fireworks before he hangs up the gloves.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo had, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we'll see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
what does this mean for Crawford and Davis moving forward? For Crawford, this incident could have serious consequences. With a monumental fight against Canelo lined up, this kind of drama is the last thing he needs. Promoters and sponsors won't be happy seeing their fighter make headlines for street brawls, and it could jeopardize the fight altogether.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry, you know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Davis, on the other hand, has been hinting at retirement for a while now, and this incident might push him closer to hanging up his gloves. He's got one more fight lined up against Lamont Roach at the Barclays Center, and talks of a potential blockbuster bout with Keyshawn Davis are heating up. But this brawl could cast a shadow over his final moments in the sport, affecting how he's remembered in his last fights.
Back first, bro. They talking. They talking. They can't do nothing. They talking. They talking. But you know how I get. You know how it's gonna 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 get. But you know how it's gonna get. A real machine. You know how it's gonna get. A real one. And I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother. Yeah. Now watch this. They gonna watch. They gonna be now there. Watch. Now watch.
What's different from 10 minutes ago?
You know how when they told you say how like I posed for Lomachenko, right? Mm-hmm. And like how he said like he was retired and things like that. I feel as though like we've been in it so long that we are getting tired of it. Like we've been beating our body up so long, but it be like situations like just now, like where he talking that spark the plug again.
Yeah, that's what I want. Is that all it takes for you? Is that all it takes? Just a little comment? Nah, but that's what I want though. I don't want you to fight me like you saying you're going out.
Always go like this. Always go like this.
Nah, what I'm saying, you just said you feel like you going out.
They go to sleep.
I don't want you to feel like you going out.
Both fighters could face fines or suspensions from the boxing commissions, and the court of public opinion is already weighing in heavily. It's a messy situation, and the repercussions could be significant for both men, potentially impacting their careers and future opportunities in the sport.
And saying that he wants you, things like that. Does that stuff just sound crazy, or just like I'm supposed to be called out? You know,
when you look at all the great fighters that was getting called out by everybody from different weight classes, so it's nothing that I'm not surprised about.
A Tank would be something that he said he'll touch your chin and
Man, everybody say, what they'll do, but Tank is in his weight class for a reason, and I don't see him come up to 147 to face me no time soon.
With all this drama, the big question is, could this lead to an official fight between Crawford and Davis? The weight difference between them is significant. Crawford is a welterweight moving up to super middleweight, while Davis has dominated the lightweight division. But with Davis hinting at retirement, anything is possible. In boxing, stranger things have happened, and this feud could push both fighters into a ring together despite the challenges.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes, daring to be great.
You a fighter.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow. Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147.
Ooh, see, oh man.
You're gonna have a pre-count.
Then what the people gonna say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
Imagine the hype if Crawford and Davis decided to settle their beef in the ring. It would be one of the most talked about fights in recent history, with fans glued to their screens. While there are logistical challenges to making this fight happen, the demand is definitely there. So, where do we go from here? Will Crawford and Davis face consequences for their actions? Could this altercation lead to a sanctioned fight between the two? And how will this impact their careers and legacies moving forward? There are still many unanswered questions, and the boxing world is eagerly waiting for updates. One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. Whether it's in the ring or on the streets, Crawford and Davis have unfinished business. We'll be keeping a close eye on what happens next, so stay tuned for all the latest updates. What do you think about this wild incident? Are you Team Crawford or Team Davis? Do you think this beef will lead to an official fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest boxing drama. I'll catch you in the next one.